This month on Mustang Magazine, we meet the championship coach of the Braintree basketball team. Ron Marshalsea catches up with the seniors on Curious Mustang. We hear from Michael McDonald and his passion for music, and we head to the rink for Mom's hockey practice. This and more on this May edition of Mustang Magazine.
Hello and welcome to Mustang Magazine. I'm Patrick O'Donnell.
And I'm Mary Erickson. Mustang Magazine is a show produced by advanced broadcast journalism students from Norwood High School. On today's show, we'll also include a couple of recent stories produced by entry-level students in the TV1 class.
But first up, we send you over to Norwood High School, the place where the egg hunt with some local kids. Junior Megan Quinn and Rachel McCracken report.
In preparation for Easter, the Recreation Department holds an annual Easter egg hunt.
It's a community activity. It's just something, that's what we try to do with the Rec Department. We try to bring people together doing activities that they enjoy. So now we're bringing all these kids together, all the mums and dads coming down here and watching and enjoying it.
Bringing people together is easy in events like this.
It's an activity. It's something to do. The kids enjoy doing things that they. It's fun. They got to go pick up all the eggs, and it'll be fun. They'll enjoy it. They always enjoy it.
I like looking for stuff. I really find it adventuring. It's really fun.
Not only do the kids come out for an adventure, but they also look forward to the prizes.
I usually go like 12 or 13 miles per hour when I run down this because the hills gives me an extra boost. 3 things: candy, candy, candy. To get like 30 eggs or maybe 40. Candy and toys.
The Easter egg hunt brings unity in the community, which is important for a close-knit town.
Happy Easter!
Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Megan Quinn.
Thanks, girls. It's nice to look back on earlier years when we were in elementary school.
Recently, we went back to the Callahan in order to catch up with the legendary Norwood principal.
Freshman reporters Rory Kerr and Jenny Carroll bring us the story from their old stomping grounds.
When Mr. Bob Griffin first applied to be principal at the Callahan School, he didn't get the job.
7 years later, it opened again, and I applied, and I did get it.
22 years later, and he's still the principal, but he wasn't sure at first if he had made the right decision since he had been teaching in the classroom for 26 years.
When I first got it, to be perfectly honest with you, I thought maybe I had made a horrible mistake because I loved teaching my kids in the classroom, and I even said to my wife once, I don't know if I want to stay in that office. I might be heading back to the classroom. But after a couple of years, like anything else, you get used to that pace.
Griffin says he grew to love his job and the people he works with.
Hired just about every teacher in the building, so they couldn't be more loyal to me. They're like my surrogate daughters and sons.
4th grade teacher Katie Breen says Mr. Griffin has helped her develop over her 17-year career.
He used to say that he could teach teachers how to teach, but he couldn't teach compassion. And that always stuck with me, and it's so true.
Now approaching retirement, students and teachers have realized how important his traditions are.
He always signs our tests and writes a good note on it saying like if we did a good job.
That's like gold to the kids. I can't compete with that. My signature is nothing. To have the principal sign your paper is a huge deal.
Griffin is leaving a big void to fill in his personal connections to the staff and students.
He's an amazing friend, mentor, role model, boss, all wrapped up in one. He's just been such a great person to work for. He's really inspiring.
He's always nice, and how whenever you're around him, you just kind of feel happy.
He may want to do some traveling abroad in his retirement.
If you're going to do stuff like that, you got to make sure that the old knees and the hips and everything else is working for you.
We wish Mr. Griffin all the best during retirement. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Rory Kerr.
Thanks, girls, and nice work on your first story ever.
So let's do another one from the TV1 class. Recently, we hung out with NHS Guidance Director Krista McDonald. But when she's not guiding students through their academic careers, she's guiding young women to championships on the basketball court.
Freshman reporter Renee Babineau and Ali Giambanco introduce us to the championship coach.
When somebody is ahead of you and they don't get the ball.
Guidance counselor Miss McDonald is also a championship basketball coach.
And that's our offense, okay?
I think what made me want to coach was that I always had incredible coaches growing up. I had people that took a vested interest in me, and not just as a basketball player, but as a person.
McDonald's coaching career began as an assistant at Stonehill in 2003, but in 2009 she got her own program at Braintree High School. Coach McDonald says it's the perfect place to coach basketball.
I think, I'm lucky I coach a lot of kids that just get after it all game, and they work really hard.
And she's had a ton of success, capturing back-to-back state titles in 2014 and 2015. This season, they're making another run.
I think these kids have been really mature over the years to just understand that it takes each practice and getting better every day, and hopefully with all that practice and focus, we'll be able to come out with those wins at the end of it.
McDonald says that she tries to keep things interesting at practice in order to keep her girls motivated. Shooting guard Allie Dillon appreciates not having to do the same drills over and over again.
It's not just one of these things that you dread. It's a lot of fun to be here and work with coach and work with the players.
Along with joking, players will say that practices can also be intense.
We don't take anything personal, so we're able to communicate even if it's a little aggressive.
Not only is the tournament stacked, but they are facing the most competitive side of the bracket.
We end up playing, we're probably one of the best teams in the state in Bishop Thean. We've had battles with them all year.
They've won a couple of state tournaments over the years.
I think this team is hungry to get back to it. A lot of them have played on those teams when they were freshmen and sophomores, so now some of the seniors who are still here.
The Womps fell short in the state tournament this season, but with a talented young group returning, they could be back next year. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Ali Giambanco.
Together, 1, 2, 3,
together! Recently, Coach McDonald resigned from her position as head coach of the Braintree girls basketball team, citing overbearing and vicious parents as her reason.
Well, try to follow up with that story in a feature broadcast.
Let's keep with the sports theme. Today, as a part of Senior Spirit Week, we're wearing sports jerseys to pay homage to our favorite athletes.
This next story, we highlight some unlikely athletes. Juniors Allie Nauman and Megan Quinn bring us to Mom's hockey practice.
When it comes to hockey, playing in the off-season is a key to a kid's game. But in this case, it's not the kids who are playing.
This is the Norwood Nuggets moms learn to play hockey.
Moms Hockey started last year and has been teaching moms how difficult the sport can be.
It's good for you to learn how hard it is your kids work throughout the hockey season.
It's been kind of a wake-up call for the mothers that it may look easy when you watch your kids play.
Everything is a lot harder than it looks.
Because the sport seems so simple, prior to the program, moms have been so quick to judge their kids' gameplay.
Probably getting the car ride home and your mother is critiquing how you played and what you did wrong. So, all right, Mrs. Gretzky, come on out on the ice and show us how it's done.
After taking part in this program, moms are now realizing the true difficulty of the sport.
I've learned that hockey is very hard, so when you're watching your kids skate and you're like, why are they so slow, or why aren't they shooting, or why aren't they skating faster? It's hard. It's hard to coordinate all those movements together. You have to learn to coordinate your hands and your feet while you're on skates.
But in the end, moms and coaches hope this program provides moms with the experience and knowledge that they can use on and off the ice.
When I first started, I was kind of hanging onto the boards trying to skate, and now I feel like I can skate, I can stop on one side.
I think it's actually made me a better hockey parent and less critical of my kids because I realized how hard it actually is.
If they get an appreciation for what the kids are doing on a weekly basis, it's well worth it.
Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Megan Quinn.
No such thing as can't.
Thanks, girls. For this next story, I caught up with a senior girl who likes to document her travels with a unique collection.
Krista Bradley started a collection while cruising through Europe in 2008.
I started noticing postcards everywhere we went, so I thought it was like a good thing to get because I knew that every place we went would have them.
So whenever Bradley gets a chance to travel, she's not thinking sightseeing, she's thinking cards.
Anywhere I go that's basically like outside of New England. So if I see any and I have money for it, then I'll buy it and add it to my wall.
And her wall is filling up fast as she visits more places.
Venice, around the Mediterranean to Barcelona, so I got maybe like 12 places there. And then in 2012, we went from Paris to Visby, Sweden, so I got probably like 9 places there. And then this past summer, we went from Jerusalem to Venice again, so I got like 7 or 8 places.
And with so many cards to display, Bradley says it can be difficult deciding where to put them.
I started off organizing them from like the first ones I had gotten to the most recent ones that I've gotten, but that didn't work out, so they're just kind of mixed up randomly.
She says looking at her cards on the wall reminds her of all the great times she had traveled.
Yeah, I mean, I love it just because like whenever I'm in my room, I can like look around and see all the places that I've been, and I just love that, and I hope that I continue to do it.
Krista Bradley is currently planning a trip after graduation. Hopefully she finds some great cards. Reporting from Mustang Magazine, I'm Patrick O'Donnell.
Okay. Thanks, Pat. That was a great collection. For this next story, I caught up with another interesting Mustang from the senior class. Here's Michael McDonald sharing his love for music in his own words.
I've always wanted to be participating in music, whether it's in an extracurricular group or if it's in school, you know, or at my church or wherever it is. I'm always looking for more opportunities in music. I've found a way to be passionate and love what I do and show others that it is possible at any age. It doesn't matter if you're 80 years old and you want to learn how to play piano, or if you're 3 years old and you want to pick up a guitar, you know, or a trumpet or whatever the case may be. I think the opportunities are endless, and that's what I value about it. I think music really allows one to be expressive and express their, not so much outer selves, but inner selves. I think music can bridge any gap in life. I think it can unite people, and I think it is one of the most uniting forces in this world. I think that no matter what the mood is, no matter what you're going through, I think that there's always a song for that or a piece of music. Music seriously defies and breaks down all the walls of culture, race, sex, whatever it is that divides the world today, whatever scares people away from one another, whatever causes turmoil. You know, I think that at the end of the day, if you put 10 people in a room who didn't know each other and you put on a song that they could all dance to, I think that would just be, it means the world to me to see something like that when people can unite under music or anything really.
There are a lot of talented kids at Norwood High School.
Recently, we caught up with freshman Julie Salvaggio, who has a talent for solving the world's most popular puzzle.
Rookie reporter Sada McLeod and Bella Bakovich show us how she does it.
The Rubik's Cube was made to be a challenge, but Julie Salvaggio has figured it out, and she does it really fast.
On average, I would say 30 seconds. It's definitely under a minute.
Salvaggio picked up the three-dimensional moving puzzle one day when she was in the 6th grade. A few hours later, she had solved it.
The Rubik's Cube is, it's a cube with a bunch of different little cubies, they call them, and they move in different ways to make it complicated.
As she got more experience, she began to figure out ways to solve it even faster.
There's a method that you would solve it. You use algorithms and you'd have to memorize all the algorithms. But I don't think of it as math. I just think of it as a thing that I need to solve to finish a certain part, and then I have to memorize all the algorithms.
The Rubik's Cube was invented in 1974 by the Hungarian sculptor and professor architecture Erno Rubik. Originally called the Magic Cube, it was licensed to be sold back in 1980. Since then, more than 350 million have been sold, making it the world's top-selling puzzle game.
There are different types of cubes. This is a 3x3x3 technically. Most people just call it a 3x3. And there's like 4x4s, 5x5, 6x6. I think it goes up to like a lot. I don't know. I've seen a 17x17, but it's like massive. Like you couldn't hold it.
These days, Salvaggio is always up for the Rubik's Cube challenge, and she enjoys racing the clock to see how fast she can go. Ready?
Yeah.
Set?
Yeah.
Go. So dust off your parents' old Rubik's Cube and give it a go. Who knows, with a little practice, you can get as fast as Julie. Reporting from Mustang Magazine, I'm Sud McLeod.
Done.
Thanks, girls. Now we have our last TV One story for this show.
Freshman reporters Sahudi Adhikari and Gianna Vielli show us how one student is using her digital photography to express herself.
NHS freshman Adeline Jeanette is capturing moments through her digital photography.
Photography is basically the way that I show the world what I see through my eyes, and I show people my perspective on different things through my pictures.
Jeanette began capturing images back in Lebanon with little knowledge of the process. She says taking pictures in a different country gave her a purpose and pushed her to learn.
And that sort of opened my eyes to different things in the world, because I had seen a different side to the world.
And using just her smartphone, she started to build a portfolio.
So I'll tell you a little bit. Like I didn't start off with a big professional camera. I actually started off with my iPhone. And actually, even before that, I had a Samsung phone.
And while she has upgraded her camera recently, she's still shooting her favorite scenery.
My favorite type of pictures to take are the ones of like sunsets and stuff. I think that's sort of because some of the very first pictures that I really fell in love with were sunsets on the Mediterranean Sea.
Jeanette has started branching out, trying to capture more than just landscapes and nature.
I also like portraits. Portraits are pretty cool, and showing people like how beautiful they are, and just exposing that true beauty is really cool. It's nice.
And she says a portrait image has a lot to do with the eyes of her subject.
Eyes are sort of my weakness. I love eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. And I feel like if you look in someone's eyes, you see a lot about them.
And with her pictures, Jeanette says she's trying to express human emotions.
It's sort of how I express myself, really. If I can show someone a feeling, or if I can show someone an image and take them somewhere that they can't go, it's how I express myself, really.
Recent subject, freshman Audrey Scafati says working with Jeanette was an amazing experience.
I'm excited to be a part of it. Like, I think she has a really pure talent, like really awesome gift for taking pictures. She has a beautiful view on the world, and I think that her pictures really show how she sees the world, which I find really cool and powerful behind a photographer.
I can deal with the saturation here and make that brighter, and then I can lower the brightness on your face and higher the highlights, which would make you look a little more tan.
Yes. In the end, Jeanette says she hopes her images bring people together.
I think photography is a beautiful way to show people the world even when they can't see it, and show people the different sides. Like, yes, there's war, yes, there's fighting and inequality, but we need to show people the world even though it's big. Try and make it small that way.
To see more of Adeline's photography, check out her latest work on Instagram at Photography by Adeline. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Sahudi Adhikari.
Thanks, girls. Recently, schools across the nation celebrated all the awesome educators in their schools.
We sent out Ronnie Marshalsea to find out which NHS teachers are most popular with students.
Here's this month's edition of Curious Mustang.
All right, Steve, who was your favorite teacher in the last 4 years?
Mr. Sear.
Why?
Because one second we're talking about physics, and the next second we're talking about his favorite video on YouTube.
I like Doc Crowley. I've had him for 4 years. He's a good guy. Also, Donio makes me feel special. He calls me sharpshooter, so
he's a nice guy.
Miss Lemieux.
Why?
Because I don't know. She wrote my college recommendations.
What about you, Nicole?
Donio, definitely.
Why?
Because I'm taller than him.
Donio.
Why?
Because he's shorter than my attention span.
Miss Doreen.
Cindy Doreen.
Mr. Rain.
Well, I like all the teachers because they are so amazing. They give me so much inspiration even during the tough times. So, teachers, we all love you equally, no matter who the teacher is.
Okay, Gwen. Who has been your favorite teacher since you've been here?
I think myself, because, taught myself a lot of lessons this year.
Good and bad, right?
Yeah, a lot of bad, a lot of good, a lot of good, a lot of bad.
All good.
All good. It's all good.
Thanks, Ronnie. For this last segment, we're going down to the auditorium to hang out with the drama department.
Recently, they held a festival showcasing their work where students from the neighboring high schools came for some acting competition.
Staff reporter Alessandra Varon takes us to the event with director Megan Ring. Here's the short documentary now.
The past 4 years of doing the NHS-TV's festival have been the best 4 years of my life. Everyone's so interesting and different, but we all have the same interests because we've been obsessed with this one thing for so long, which is festival. We work so hard and we put our all into this one show, and when you get up there, the day of prelims, the first time you perform the show for real, you put everything into that one performance, and after it's done, it feels amazing. Don't pay no mind to the demons, they fill you with fear. The trouble in might drag you down. You get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone, 'cause I'm gonna make this. During festival, there's so many different types of people, but we all come together for the same love of theater. And everyone's so weird and different, but it's amazing because no one will ever judge you for being exactly who you are. The energy throughout the day is contagious. Everyone is so happy and just happy to be here and perform, and we feed off of each other's energy, and it's the best experience I have ever had. I'm gonna make this place your home.
This is festival. This is it. This is the moment we've been working for. Woo!
This is the one thing I'm going to remember from high school, and this is the one thing I'm just going, it's the best thing of high school, of my high school career. It's the best thing I've done.
Thanks, girls, and congratulations to the drama department on a successful year of production.
Well, that's all we have for this episode of Mustang Magazine. But be sure to check us out online at mustang.media or hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat. I'm Mary Erickson.
I'm Patrick Brown, and see ya.